Hey, what is going on guys? My name is Parvinder from PNPtutorials and here I am back with another video tutorial for you guys. And in this tutorial I am going to tell you that how you can create your own portable hacking machine. So here we have few things. First one, I am having the Raspberry Pi 3 Model B, and second one, I am having the power bank of Portronics, which will give the power to my Raspberry Pi for long time. This power bank is having the 4 LED indicators which will indicate how much power is left in my power bank. So it is very useful power bank, and this power bank is also having the 2 output port, and the first output port is of 2.1 ampere. So here I am going to use this particular output port because our Raspberry Pi requires the 2.1 ampere input. Okay, and here it has the 1 ampere output port as well. So if you wanted to charge your mobile phone, then you can use this particular port as well. I'm having an Android mobile phone which I will be using as a screen for my Raspberry Pi, and I am having the TP-Link USB Wi-Fi adapter. Since you already know that Raspberry Pi 3 does have the Wi-Fi in it, but the inbuilt Wi-Fi adapter in the Raspberry Pi doesn't support the monitor mode, and that's why I am making the use of TP-Link USB Wi-Fi adapter. Okay, so these are the few things which we require for creating the portable hacking machine, and in the few moments I will be telling you that how you can do the configuration into your Raspberry Pi to make it portable hacking machine. So for making this portable hacking machine, we need to follow 5 steps. First step is to install the Kali Linux into your Raspberry Pi. So for installing the Kali Linux, all you need to do is to just go to your Google Chrome and then go to the website called kali.org, because we need to download the Kali Linux image file for the Raspberry Pi 3. Click on download Kali Linux, and now scroll down, click on Kali ARM images. Since we are going to download Kali Linux for Raspberry Pi 2 and 3, so click on this link, and now it will start downloading that file, and they can see file size is 1.1 GB. Since I've already downloaded this file, so I'm not gonna do it again. Okay, the second thing which you need to download is Win32 disk imager, and the download link of both the things, that is Win32 disk imager and the Kali Linux image file, I have provided in the description area of this video. When you will successfully download both of the files, then they will look like this. Okay, like you will have the Kali Linux 2.1.2 version and you will have the Win32 disk imager. Now what you need to do is you need to simply right click on it and then click on the extract files. Once you will do this, then it will gonna take some time and it will leave a file called Kali 2.1.2.img. Now what you need to do is you need to click on the Win32 disk imager. It will ask you to install this software. Simply follow the install instructions. Unmark this option, that is view readme.txt, and then click on finish. Now it will launch Win32 disk imager. Now what you need to do is grab a SD card, and here I'm using the SD card of 16 GB, and I will connect that SD card into the card reader. Now I will simply connect that SD card into my laptop via card reader. Okay, so the SD card has been connected, and they can see this is the D drive. Okay, now what you need to do is you need to simply open up Win32 disk imager. Type in here Win32 disk imager, click on this, click on yes, and now you need to choose your right drive, and here I'm having the D drive. Okay, you can see here this is the 41.3 MB data because I have already write the Kali image into it. Okay, so now you need to select the file, click on desktop, and our file is in the files directory, and then simply choose this file and click on open, and now click on write. Now it is saying that writing to a physical device can corrupt the device, so we have to take that risk. Click on yes. Now it will gonna take some time to write that image into the SD card. So now the writing process is about to finish, and once it will gonna finish, then we will take out the SD card and connect it to the Raspberry Pi. So what I will do is now I will take out the SD card, and now I will connect that SD card into my Raspberry Pi, and then I will connect my Raspberry Pi 3 to my monitor via HDMI cable so that I can do some configuration into my Raspberry Pi. This is my card reader of Transient. I will take out this SD card from the card reader. Now I will connect that SD card into my Raspberry Pi 3. Okay, so this is our SD card in which we have installed the Kali Linux operating system. Okay, so this is the 16 GB Evo Samsung Evo SD card. So let's connect that SD card into our Raspberry Pi. Okay. So now we have connected the SD card into the Raspberry Pi. Now I will connect my Raspberry Pi to my monitor via HDMI cable. And now I will connect that LAN cable to my Raspberry Pi 3 so that I can get the internet access, because we have to do lots of configuration into our Raspberry Pi to be able to make the portable hacking machine. I will connect this USB cable into the 2.1 ampere power port. And now I will give the power to my Raspberry Pi. Okay, so we have to be very quick right now. Okay guys, so now we are going to see the very first boot screen. Okay guys, so this is the very first boot screen of Kali Linux right in front of you guys. Okay, so the default password is root, and let me connect the wireless keyboard and mouse, and this is the wireless keyboard and mouse receiver. This is from Logitech. Okay, so now I have connected the wireless keyboard and mouse. Now I will enter the credentials. The username is root and password is TOOR, and now hit enter. Now it will gonna take you to the very first desktop screen. Now they can see guys, I am able to use my mouse as well. Okay, so this is the welcome to the first start of the panel. So we have to click on the use default configuration, and now they can see guys, this is the very first boot screen. On to the left side you can notice the applications over there. Let me zoom over there. Okay, on to the right side you can notice the LAN cable panel, and when I will click on it, then you will be able to see the two boxes over there. First one is the authorized USB 2.0 WLAN. It means it is the external USB Wi-Fi adapter, and second one is the internal Wi-Fi into a Raspberry Pi 3. So you can notice the strength of both adapters as well. So the external Wi-Fi adapter is having the good strength than the internal Wi-Fi adapter into the Raspberry Pi 3. Okay, so we have to do now configuration. Let me first open up the terminal. The very first thing which I'm going to do is I'm going to update my Kali Linux. I will simply type in here apt-get update. Hit enter. Now it will gonna take some time, and we have the internet connectivity as well. So let me show you the interfaces. Use the iwconfig command, and we have WLAN 0, we have the Ethernet 0, we have the WLAN 1, and let me show you the IP address of my Kali Linux. And right now I am connected via Ethernet port, and they can see the IP address as well. Please wait for a while till we finish the update. So we have finished the update process. Now our second step is to configure the hotspot into a Raspberry Pi. So for configuring the hotspot, all you need to do is to just go to the application and then click on web browser, and there we have our web browser. Now what you need to do is you need to simply type in here anon hotspot github, and I am making the use of this GitHub repository. If you wanted to get this code, then simply follow the Adnan Hodzik. What you need to do is you need to simply click on clone and copy this URL, and then open up your terminal and then type in here git clone and then the name of the repository. Hit enter on it. Now what you need to do is you need to go inside this directory, and the directory name is anon hotspot. Now do the ls here. Now you have the two files over here. First one is the readme.md, which is having the instruction how to install this thing how to run the NN hotspot, and second thing is the NN hotspot file. So what you need to do is you need to give the execute permission to NN hotspot file. Now the execute permission has been given to the NN hotspot. Now what you need to do is you need to copy this NN hotspot file and paste it into the bin directory, because we wanted to use this file as a command. That's why we are copying this file from this particular directory to the user bin. Okay, now do the ls again and run the NN hotspot file, since we have provided the execute permission as well, so it will not take much time. And when you will run this file, then it will gonna give you some instructions. For the configuration, we have to give the tag as the configure. So let me give the tag configure over here, hit enter. Now it will update our Kali Linux 2.1.1 and it will gonna take some time in update. Now it is installing the tool called DNS Mask Base and hostpd. So hostpd is well-known tool which is used to install the hotspot feature into the Linux systems, and DNS Mask is used for the DNS servers and all these things. Now it will gonna take some time in downloading the dependencies. Okay guys, so now it is asking for the SSID. You can give it to anything. By default it will keep the SSID as NN hotspot. I am going to give the SSID as PNPtutorials. Hit enter, and now you need to give the password. It will gonna generate a random password, but I just wanna put a simple password here, 9876543210. Hit enter. Now it is asking that are these settings correct. I will say why, yes. Now it is saying are you wanted to start the hotspot now. I will say no. We have to do one more thing, and that thing is to install the Vino VNC into our Kali Linux. We have set up all the dependencies of the hotspot, but we have not started the hotspot yet. Okay, so let's install the dependencies for the Vino VNC server. So again open up your browser and then type in here Vino VNC for RPI, and now you can see this second link. Click on that. Now you need to follow this particular thread of Raspberry Pi. Now first of all you need to install the tool called Vino and dconf editor. Okay, so simply copy this command. Alright, paste this command and hit enter. Now it will gonna take some time to install both of the tools. Now it is saying it will gonna take around 23.2 MB data. I'll say yes, so I'll press Y here. So let me pause my recording for a while till it install all the things. It will gonna take some time to unpack the local all, so don't get panic and don't press the Ctrl+C, because if you will do that, then it will gonna break the D package of your Kali Linux and you might have to install the Kali Linux again. So it will gonna take around 5 to 7 minutes. So please wait for a while and continue with this process. Okay guys, so now it is asking us restart services during the package upgrades without asking. So I would say no. And then I will navigate to the OK. Now it will gonna take some time in doing the setup of libc-bin package. Please wait for a while. Okay guys, so now it has installed both of the things. Now what you need to do is you need to open up your browser and see the next instruction, and the next instruction is to open the dconfig editor. So let's open the dconf editor. It will gonna give you a GUI, and now you need to click on the I'll be careful, and now what you need to do is you need to follow this document, and the document is saying you need to click on org. So click on org, and now you need to click on genome. Click on genome. Now you need to click on desktop. Click on desktop. Now you need to click on remote access. Click on remote access. You need to uncheck the prompt enabled, and now I am going to look for the prompt enabled, and there it is. Click on this. Click on, click on false, and now go back to the remote access, and now you need to look for the require encryption and click on the require encryption, click on, click on false, and now you need to go back to the menu, remote access. Now both have been set to false. Now the next step is to go inside this directory, that is .config. So press the Ctrl C over here, and this directory is on to the root directory, so do the ls-a, and this is a hidden directory. So go inside this directory, that is cd.config, hit enter, do the ls here. Now you need to go inside the auto start directory, but there is no auto start directory, so we need to create one. Auto start, hit enter. Now we will go inside this directory, that is auto start. Now you need to create a file called Vino desktop. Copy this, use the nano editor to create a file, paste here, hit enter. Now the file content will be this, that is the desktop entry to the hidden is equals to false. Copy this content, paste right over here, and press the Ctrl X and then press Y and then hit enter. Now what we have done is we have set the Vino desktop onto the startup, so when we will reboot our Raspberry Pi, Vino server will automatically get start. Okay, so our next step is to install the full version of Kali Linux. So for installing the full Kali Linux, all you need to do is to type in a command called apt-get install Kali Linux -full, and when you will hit enter, then it will gonna read the package list. Now it is saying it requires the 1.2 GB of data to install the complete Kali Linux in it. So I cannot demonstrate you the whole step, but you need to simply press the Y here and get continue with this process. But for now I am not going to install the complete Kali Linux, but you have to install it, because if you wanted to create a portable hacking machine, then it should have all the tools in it. Okay, now the next step is to run the hotspot service onto the startup. So for running the hotspot service onto the startup, you need to go inside this directory called nn hotspot, do the ls here. Now we need to create a file called startup and keep it as the .sh, because we wanted to create a shell file. So hit enter, and now inside this file you need to type in here nn hotspot start. Let's put the sudo in front of this command so that we can run this file as a root user. Press the Ctrl X and then Y, then hit enter, and give the execute permission to this file, that is startup.sh. Now the execute permission has been given to this file. Now we need to run this file onto the startup. So for running this file onto the startup, what you need to do is go to the application right there, and then you need to go to the settings and come down and go to the session in startup. Now it will gonna open a dialog box here. Now you need to click on the application auto start, and now we need to add an application here. Click on add, and now give it a name as nn hotspot, and then you need to click on the description, and you can set the description to anything. I will keep it as blank, and now I will run a file, and that file I am going to browse with this icon. So you need to go to the root and then go inside the nn hotspot and select the startup.sh file, and then click on OK. And now you need to click on OK, click on close. Now your startup.sh file will run on startup, and your Vino VNC will also run on startup, but we need to enable the auto login into our Kali Linux so that both of the files can run automatically. So for that, here this Kali Linux is using the XFCE environment, and they can see guys about XFCE. So in the XFCE we need to auto login this Kali Linux, and for doing the auto login, all you need to do is to just go inside this directory, that is etc light dm, hit enter, do the ls here. Now you need to edit a file called lightdm.conf, hit enter, scroll down to the bottom, use the arrow keys. Now scroll up till you see this auto login user. Now remove this hash and put the root, because we wanted to auto login as a root user, and remove this hash from the front of this auto login dash user dash timeout, and the timeout we will set it to 0. So press Ctrl X and then Y and then hit enter. Now what we have done is we have auto login our Kali Linux, and we have set two files onto the startup, and the first file was the Vino VNC server, which will run the VNC server into a Raspberry Pi, and second thing, we have set up the hotspot onto the startup. So what will happen when I will reboot my Raspberry Pi, then it will gonna auto login and it will start the Vino VNC server in it and the hotspot in it. Okay, let's power off our Raspberry Pi and we will see the whole complete hacking machine in front of the camera. Okay guys, so we have done every single configuration into a Raspberry Pi 3, and now we are ready to convert this stuff into a portable hacking machine. So now what I am going to do is I will simply plug this USB Wi-Fi adapter inside my Raspberry Pi. Sorry for the bad experience of the camera, because I am holding my camera and doing all the things all alone, so I'm sorry for that. And now what I will do is I will connect that USB cable into the 2.1 ampere port. Okay, so this is the 2.1 ampere port. So now let's put both of the things over there, and now just like this, and now we will give the power to a Raspberry Pi. Let me focus. So when I will give the power to my Raspberry Pi, then it will create a hotspot and I will connect to that particular hotspot, and I have to do some configuration into my mobile phone as well for making this portable hacking machine. So let's give the power to a Raspberry Pi, and you can see guys, this LED is blinking. Now let's open up our Android mobile phone. Now I will do the configuration into my Android mobile phone for using this thing. Let me install an application. So here I am having the mobile data on, and now I will open up my Play Store. I will type in here VNC and you will get this application. You need to click on this application and then click on install, but I have already installed this application, so I'm not gonna do it again. So I'll simply open it, and now it will gonna give you some instructions. Swipe over there and click on get started, and now what you need to do is you need to switch off your data and then look for the Wi-Fi hotspot, and we have created a Wi-Fi called PNPtutorials, and we have this right here. Now we will enter the password, and we have set the password as 98, and you can see the password is quite same, and click on connect. Now you can see guys, we have connected to the PNPtutorials Wi-Fi hotspot, and that hotspot is created by this Raspberry Pi. You can notice this Raspberry Pi right in front of the camera. Okay, we don't have the internet access, that's why it is giving the prompt that you don't have the internet access. Now what I will do is I will go on to the VNC viewer, and then I will add a connection, and let me search for the IP address of my Raspberry Pi. So for that I have to install an application called Fing, and there it is. This is the Fing application. Okay guys, so we have scanned our network, and the Wi-Fi which we are having is the Raspberry Pi hotspot. You can notice the IP address of the Raspberry Pi here, and the IP address is 172.24.1.1. So what I will do is I will simply enter this IP address into my VNC viewer application. Let me add that IP address over here. We know that the IP address was 172.24.1.1 colon 5900. This is the port number where the VNC server is running. We have to give the name to it. You can give it to anything. I will give the name as portable. Okay, and then click on create. Now what you need to do is you need to click on connect, and there we go guys, it is saying it is the unencrypted connection, so I will say okay. Okay guys, so here we have got these instructions how to operate this VNC viewer. Okay, you can notice the pinch 2 fingers, you can zoom over here, you can scroll by the 2 fingers and all these things. Okay guys, here we have got the Kali Linux in front of us into our Android mobile phone. Now we can click on the application and open up our terminal, and I am going to show you that we can enable the monitor mode as well. It means we can hack the Wi-Fi as well. Okay guys, so now let's try to enable the monitor mode on WLAN 1 interface, because WLAN 0 is the interface by which the hotspot is running, and we have the external USB Wi-Fi adapter of TP-Link, which is having the WLAN 1 interface. So we will try to enable the monitor mode on WLAN 1. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to click on this keyboard and then type in here airmon ng start WLAN 1, and here we are using the TP-Link USB Wi-Fi adapter for enabling the monitor mode. Now hit enter. Now it will gonna take some time to enable the monitor mode, and let's do the iwconfig to check if the monitor mode has been enabled or not. Okay guys, so there you can see we have the WLAN 0, we have the WLAN 1 mon, and that's what I'm talking about. We have enabled the monitor mode. It means this mobile phone is ready to go anywhere and we can hack as many as Wi-Fi we wanted to hack. Okay, so this is quite portable. Only we have to carry is the Android mobile phone and this Raspberry Pi. Okay guys, so this is all we have, portable hacking machine. Now what you need to do is you need to simply carry this power bank and the Raspberry Pi in your pocket and keep this Android mobile phone with you. Go anywhere and hack the Wi-Fi, and you can do lots of hacking kind of stuff into this portable hacking machine. This is just an idea, and I'm not saying we can replace the need of laptop, but I am saying that if you have the Raspberry Pi and if you wanted to use it as a portable hacking machine, then you can use it guys. And if you wanted to use your Raspberry Pi as a portable hacking machine, then just follow this whole video and you will be able to have your own Raspberry Pi 3 as a portable hacking machine, and you will be able to do lots of cool things with this. I am working on this project from last 3 days and now it is ready to publish. So thanks for watching guys. If you guys like this video, then don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and don't forget to click on subscribe button for more updates. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.